Hey, my reactors. So I'm on chapter 9. Chapter 10. 10 years later. 2 years later. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, let me put this out here because I want to chill. Or I want to be ahead. So, but, that's what she say, 2 years later. But I'm not like y'all. I don't like hurting people. Fur. Hey, Rhonda. It's Fur, she said, playing with the white cord on coconut phone in her room, in her bedroom. Me and Natasha was just about to come over there, Rhonda said. We're getting dressed right now. 14-year-old Fur looked at Coconut bedroom door to be sure she wasn't coming. I'm glad you called first because we're not going to the party tonight. Why not? We've been planning this shit all week. She got her period and been in pain all day. Her mother making her some tea right now to settle her stomach. Where's she at? Let me talk to her right quick, she said, concerned. I don't think that's a good idea. Fur smiled so it could be felt through the phone. She really needs her rest. Oh, okay. Well, I'll call her later. After placing the phone on the hook, Fur sat on the bed and waited for Coconut to come back into her room. 15 minutes later, she entered holding a new porno DVD and placed it in the player. She wiggled her toes as she watched bits and pieces of the porno. Coconut was obsessed with playing. While most people play music in the background, she wasn't satisfied until the sounds of fucking rain throughout her room. Fur watched Coconut comb her hair as she sat on the bed. Her beauty and the effortless way she moved her body mesmerized her. Fur wondered how it must have felt not to be plagued with the same social killings, disease that plagued her whole life. Oh, good skin, y'all. Further wanted nothing more than to be her, have her home, and even her mother, Sherry. Unlike Brownie, she wasn't in her ear telling her that she needed to do unspeakable acts of violence to prove her love. So over the years, Coconut's house became her refuge. Although she wasn't allowed to go over there during the daytime hours because of what the sun did to her skin, she made she made up for the times by the wild things she did with Coconut at night. The girls were talking about boys in their lives in high school when Sherry attempted to walk in without knocking. Mom, get the fuck out of my room, Coconut yelled, throwing her shoe at the door. Sherry quickly closed the door to prevent getting hit. You know I hate when you come in here without asking. Damn, respect my fucking privacy. I'm sorry, honey. I was coming to bring your clean clothes, she said from outside the door. I wish I would. I'm talking me. My kids talk to me like that. Let me get a drink of water. Coconut rolled her eyes and said, well, hurry up. Sherry rushed inside as if time were not on her side and she were not head of the household. As if she was not head of the household. Fred was amazed at how she spoke to her mother, and more importantly, how Sherry reacted to the verbal abuse. She had no doubt that with Usher incarcerated, Ronnie would not hesitate to snap her neck back if she used the same language. Sherry wasn't always that way, but after Coconut father died in a freak accident last year, when the shaft of a dump truck traveling in the opposite direction from him on the highway dislodged and slammed into his windshield, she felt guilty after all. Milton was on his way to listen to Coconut recital at her school when Sherry begged him to pick her up from the bar after having gone over her limits of 10 glasses of vodka. If he had been with his daughter, he would still be alive today. And Coconut hated Sherry for it. It didn't matter that she hadn't had a drop of liquor since. After Sherry finished neatly placing Coconut clothes in a dresser, she rushed out to get a girl's privacy. That bitch get on my fucking nerves sometimes. She seems nice to me for a shrug. Nicer than my mother anyway. Everybody nicer than your mother, Coconut said, combing her hair more. Anyway, tell your father I said hi. She smiled. I can't believe he killed them people back then. That shit is so fucking sexy. Mia was right. The main reason Coconut wanted to squash the beef 2 years ago was to get in her family business. Fur would spend hours telling her about the violent things Usher did, including how her parents made her kick Dio in the dick. In love with lines, she even made up a few stories along the way. One time she spent a night over at her house and they slept in the same bed. Coconut played with her own pussy and Fur at the same time. And Furris at the same time after she told her about her father's violent ways. Even then Coconut didn't allow her in the crew until she participated in their favorite game called SmackDown. Standing in front of her, Coconut smacked her with all her might in the face. When she was done, she was allowed to slap her back. They went back and forth until Fur raised her hand, wanting the game to stop. Even though she lost, they underestimate Fur's desire to have friends, because it took over an hour for her to concede. It wasn't about the game, everyone. It wasn't about the game. Everyone who played knew Coconut was the most thorough. They realized that then Fur wasn't a mousy, spotty faced girl they thought she was. He told me to tell you hello, Farrah said dryly. She wanted Coconut attention on her at all times and not her father's. Good, but look. Oh, wait a minute, y'all. I wanted to tell you something. Coco said, leaning in. You know I've been fucking with David on the side, right? Farrah shook her head. Girl, yes, and he has the biggest dick you ever seen in your life. I sucked it earlier today at school and he gave me $50. Ain't he Jake's best friend? Farrah took the comb from Coconut and said, you want me to scratch your scalp? You know I do anyway. Anyway, he, so what his best friend? So what he's his best friend? He ain't gonna tell him and neither am I. Farrah shook her head shook her head. In her opinion, her boyfriend Jake was perfect. He was attractive, on the football team, had his own car, and he gave her money. What more did she want? I don't see how you do that. What, suck dick? She laughed. Hold up, you never gave a blowjob before? I haven't even fucked nobody yet. First scratched her scalp harder, the way she liked it. Coconut laughed and said, you use the word fuck so freely. I mean, you sure you ain't do it yet? First shook her head again. Park, Park allowed that shit. For you to hold out on him with that pussy, Park ain't got no choice, but I jerked him off though. Farrah wasn't into Park that much because in her dreams, the one she wrote on paper, he didn't fit the bill. I hope you ain't holding out waiting for that dark Superman nigga you be talking about all the time because he ain't real. Farrah laughed. I said I want him super strong, not Superman, she signed. And Park not real either. At least not with me. I mean, I like him, but not enough to have sex with him. Not right now, anyway. Wow, what a lucky guy, she laughed. Anyway, don't say anything to Park about me fucking David because if it gets out, I know you the one who said it. Oh, y'all, this is a long one, y'all. Farrah was insulted. I ain't doing no shit like that to you. You're my cousin. Play cousin, she corrected. Now, where's Rhonda and Natasha? I thought they were coming over. Jake and Park said they had some friends who going to be at the party tonight, and we need more girls. Farrah lied to Rhonda about the party early because she couldn't go and she didn't want Rhonda and Natasha to be around Coconut alone. She worked so hard to win her friendship that she was afraid if they did real fun stuff together without her, Coconut wouldn't want her around anymore. Brownie's strictness was the main reason Farrah couldn't wait to get that apartment with Coconut they always talked about. Ever since her grandma told her that if she wrote her desires, hopes, and dreams on paper, they will all come true. She was religious with her writing, and there were three things she wrote about every day. To have Coconut as a friend, no matter what. To meet the dark-skinned extra strong man who would love her for eternity and to rid herself of sickness that had plagued her life. She was so close to having her dreams come true that she didn't want to lose them like this. So she had to clean up her mess quick. I ain't want to tell you, but Ron and Natasha be hating on us because we light skinned and they not. I heard them talking about it today at school. They were popping all kinds of shit in the cafeteria, like it's our fault we were born this way. Fur lied, combing her hair. You should have not even invited them. Coconut glared. Ron and Natasha never act like that around me. I've been cool with them for years. I'm about to call them right now. For fear of getting caught in the lie, Fur dropped the comb and broke into tears. She had practiced on how to fake it since she sobbed on a regular basis to get Brownie's attention. Wait a minute. Uh, See, I knew you wouldn't believe me. That's why I didn't want to tell you. Now you're gonna ask them, and everybody gonna be mad at me again. I'ma just go home. Coconut got up and hugged her. I'm not gonna say nothing. Fur pouted. Seriously, me and you way closer than I am with them now. You're here like every day. You family for real. Fur shook her head. Nah, you don't want to be my friend. I'm just gonna go home. I do want to be your friend. She hugged her tighter. Please don't leave. Park and Jake on the way over, and I don't want to be by myself. Further, like she was still upset. You my best friend now, and anything we say between each other is kept here. Let's keep it light, okay? She said, quoting her favorite phrase as usual. They separate from the embrace. Thank you, she smiled. I just want us to always be close. That's all I ever wanted. Then you got it. But you gotta calm down sometimes. You gotta calm down. Sometimes you do too much for her. I'll try. Before Coconut could respond, Sherry knocked on the door. Come in, Mom, she sighed. Sorry to bother you again, but your company is here. In walked Park and Jake. In the instance, Fur was right, because they both wanted to talk to the girls because of their lighter skin. When Sherry left, Park hugged Fur and gripped her ass while Coconut jumped on top of Jake and kissed him passionately on the mouth. I'm fucking the shit out you tonight, Jake said, going under Coconut's dress and sticking his finger in her tight pussy. Coconut cooled and kissed him harder. After Fur kiss was over, she and her boyfriend stood awkwardly in the room, looking at Coconut and Jake go at it. Fur started tugging on the bottom of the dress she wore to nervousness. She knew at some point she would have to fuck Park if she wanted to keep him. She saw the way he looked at Coconut body and it hurt her feelings. As much as she loved her boyfriend, she wasn't sure if she could trust her around him. After the longest kiss Fur have ever witnessed, Coconut said, me and Jake gonna see if we can get some weed and E-pills. Y'all can stay in my room. If you fool around, do it on top of my sheets. I don't want no cum on my bed. Fur frowned. When we come back, we're gonna all roll to the party together. When she and Jake left, Fur walked to Coconut Mirror and swung her head back and forth the way she saw her friend do it. Pot watched her from the bed and joined the view. I ain't know your ass was that fat, Park said. You gonna make me come lick that motherfucker in a minute. Fur turned around, leaned up against the dresser, and raised her skirt. Is that so? Yup. So when you gonna let me hit? He stepped up to the dresser and she sauntered him away from him. To play off his embarrassment, he grabbed one of Coconut perfume bars and began sniffing the tops. If you worried about me hurting you when we had sex, don't. I'ma be easy. Fur heard his voice but couldn't make out the words. All she was thinking about was that if he sprayed the perfume, she might end up in the hospital. In order to keep her illness in check, she had to stay away from everything young women love, from makeup to scented soap. If it smelled pretty, she avoided it at all costs. Come over here, Fur. Come over here, Fur order. Put coconut stuff down. If I come over there, you're going to make it worth my while. He held onto the perfume bottle as if he were using it as a weapon. She didn't tell anybody about her condition for fear they would use it against her. But if he didn't set that bottle down, she had every intention of attacking him. I ain't coming over there for nothing. It'd be worth your while, she said, her heart rate increasing. He still hadn't placed the bottle on the dresser. Finally, after a few more seconds, he set it down and walked in her direction. Come on, Pop. You're not fucking with my head, are you? No, boy, she said in a honey voice. Standing in front of her, he dropped his jeans and boxers. He forwardness scarred her because she hoped her first time, no, scared her because she hoped her first time would be suppler. I want you to suck it first. She swallowed her nervousness, and I want you to stick your fingers in my ass. I ain't gay or nothing. I just like it like that. Park went from seduction to instructions as he told her what he wanted. He pressed his hard dick against her stiff lips, but they wouldn't separate. His clear pre-cum oozed from the tip. Open your mouth for her. He looked down at her and wished she stuck her. He looked down at her and wished she stuck her fingers in his asshole and opened her mouth. The moment she did, Shuri walked in the room and Fur pushed Park back so hard he fell to the floor before wrestling to pull his pants up. Shuri slammed the door. Fur wiped her sore fingers on coconut bed and said, Miss Shuri, I'm sorry, Fur. I didn't know you kids were busy, she said from the outside the room. Your sister and brother are here to see you. They say it's important. Overcome with embarrassment, Fur pulled herself together and said, Pop, I'll see you later. Running towards the door, she tripped over one of Coconut's shoes. I gotta go. Once out of the room, she passed Shirley, who avoided eye contact with her. As she sat on the living room floor, when she opened the front door, she saw Shadow and Mia standing in the hallway. The looks on their face scared her, and she knew right away something was wrong. Once the door closed, Fur asked, Is Grandma okay? She good, but we gotta talk. We gotta go talk in the car, Mia said. Yeah, this is a family matter not to be discussed in the hallway, Shadow added. Okay. When she got to the car, she saw Chloe sit in the back seat, crying her eyes out. Brownie was in the driver's seat, and since Mia and Shadow got in the back with Chloe, she was forced to sit up front with her mother, Fur. Fur, tonight's going to be the night you prove yourself to me and the rest of the family. She pointed a finger in her face. I heard about you not fighting at school and letting people jump in your face when they talked about your illness, she said in a spiteful voice. One time I even heard you cry. Fur looked at Shadow, who held his head down. She knew the incident well. It happened a month earlier and she confided in her brother. Now she was thinking it was a big mistake. But there comes a time in your life when you gotta step up. And tonight is the night. No more crying, no more hiding, and no more being weak. This is it for her. Now your baby sister was raped an hour ago. Fully Gates and said by who? Theo. Fur couldn't wrap her mind around what she was saying. She knew Theo and Chloe were seeing each other despite what they did to him behind the school, but she vowed to keep it a secret. Chloe always seemed to want the men she had. It bothered her at first because she and Theo were so close at one point, and she wondered why he didn't choose her. But life and new friends got in the way, and after a while, she didn't care. Besides, when she wrote her story, she saw a dark-skinned, strong man, and Theo was neither. Fur certainly didn't think would ever hurt her sister. Now we gotta finish what we started 2 years ago with him. Fur heart rate increased, knowing something terrible was coming. We don't play that shit when it comes to our family, and you know it. Brian looked at her kids and continued. So I want y'all to go into the house and stab his ass to death. She reached in a brown paper bag and handed them knives. When Fur didn't take her, Brownie frowned. Fuck is wrong with you? Fur looked at the knife and said, I don't want to do this. What you mean you don't want to do this? I just told you that little fucker raped your sister. Farrah turned around and looked at Chloe, who looked out the window. Even she putting in work, and you telling me you afraid? Farrah took the knife. She had done everything she could to make Brownie love her and get her attention. From serving her brothers in bed, which she always ungratefully eats without so much as a thank you, to swallowing chemicals knowing she would end up in the hospital. In the end, the only thing Brownie wanted to see was bloodshed. Farrah, I need you to toughen up. But I'm not like y'all. She looked at all of them. I don't like hurting people. Everyone in the car signed. Right before Brownie grabbed the knife out of Farrah's hand and jabbed it in the valve seat between her legs, Farrah pushed back into the seat as Brownie moved the knife towards her vagina slowly. You ain't no better than us, Redbone. You better recognize that shit. She huffed. Now, are you with us or not? Looking at her siblings and not wanting to let them down, she said, yes, Mom. Brownie removed the knife from the valve seat and handed it back to her with the blade in her direction. Good. How are we going to get in? Shadow asked, eager, as always, to put in work. After he raped her, he wouldn't let her leave, but she convinced him she wouldn't tell anybody. For 2 hours, he begged her not to say nothing. Eventually, the little bastard let her go. After Chloe said she'd be back with some food, so the door should be open. Brian looked at her watch. He'll be expecting her back in the next 15 minutes, so we gotta move now. Farrah sat in her seat quietly. She belonged to a family of savages, and it bothered her terribly. She knew they wouldn't. She knew things often did things. She knew they often did things in secrecy in the middle of the night without her. Most time they would creep out and not so much as nudge her. She reasoned that before long the moment would come when she would be forced to participate. Now that the moment arrived, she realized she wasn't ready. When they made it to the dinette apartment, Brownie and the children crept slowly up the stairs. Y'all go in and I'll come in about 15 minutes. Brownie ordered. Chloe turned the knob, knowing it would be open, and walked into the apartment. Her siblings followed. When Chloe walked up to the door in the hallway, she whispered, it's this one right here. Mia was the first to open the door. The light from the television illuminated the room, revealing someone sleeping under a thick dark blanket. Shadow, Chloe, and Mia all walked into the bedroom and surrounded the bed, looking at one another. Smile dresses their faces as one by one they took turns stabbing at the mouth. When a woman's voice yelled out in pain, Farrah was shocked to see that it was Dinette's instead of Theo's covered the covers. Under the covers, y'all. She knew right away that they lied to get her participation in the crime. Farrah dropped the knife and was preparing to run out of the room when she bumped into her mother. Brownie smiled slyly and walked into the room to taunt the woman she hated for so long. Years would pass before Farrah would learn the real events leading up to that night. Theo was staying at a friend's house, and Tommy had left her last year. If they were going to do anything, it had to be tonight. Herbert, the project maintenance man, gave Brownie the keys to the next apartment for $50 to buy some dope. It was easier than Brownie could have ever imagined. After all those years, Brownie never got over her suspicions that she fucked Upshur. Loving the color of blood, she finally sought revenge. Farrah knew the moment she left their room that life would never be the same for her, and she was right. So I will be back with chapter 11 soon, and it's back to present day Mooney's house. Bye, my reactors. Ooh, that was a long chapter.